There is one thing about the next move that XRP is going to do that is going to startle a lot of you guys who are watching this video, and it is going to be triggered by Bitcoin and what Bitcoin is going to do and to do in the near future. To add insult to injury, today we are in the fortunate position of having none other than Thiel, a highly regarded individual in the field of finance, who is discussing Bitcoin, the origins of its worth, and the places where it is about to draw a great deal more value. And because of the fact that it is all going to have a tremendous influence on XRP at a time frame that many people are not expecting, this journey is going to be quite exciting. Of course, many of you are going to be surprised by this. In light of everything that has been said, I would like to request that you click the like button so that everyone is aware of this extremely significant development. Therefore, we are going to begin by discussing the potential downsides, and then very shortly after that, we are going to discuss the potential benefits specifically with regard to Bitcoin and how it will be related to XRP moving forward. So pay great attention to what you hear. Do you believe that the exchange-traded funds ETFs carry a certain level of risk? In my opinion, the most significant danger is linked to the liquidity of the market. To put it another way, you could conceive of it in this way. There is the open market, which is the foundation of the world's coin system. There is also the over-the-counter market. To a large extent, the ETFs function according to a T+1 basis. On Monday, if you go to buy shares in an exchange-traded fund ETF, the company will go into the market and acquire Bitcoin upon the closing of the market or the following day, and it is settled on the following trading day. Therefore, if you buy shares on Friday, then they will be doing buys on Monday. This implies that the price of the Bitcoin that they buy on Monday can be affected by the price of Bitcoin that occurs over the course of the weekend. Regarding that, there is a great deal of trading going on. Consider the number of retail investors who are active as the amount of Bitcoin in exchange-traded funds ETFs continues to increase. The stock market had a decline of 10% with the Nasdaq SP 500 and other indices all falling. To put that into perspective, even if they want to sell 10% of their Bitcoin holdings all at once, the market is still rather lightly traded in the open market. It is therefore likely that you will observe a greater drop whenever there is a drop. Moreover, it is possible that the OTC desk does not have the capacity to take in that volume. The people need to use extreme caution. How they view the markets, because when you have an excessive amount of Bitcoin sitting in a concentrated set of hands, and when those hands make a decision and move, things might happen that are disproportionately more violent than they would be otherwise. I would think that in the next 6 to 12 months, we will see a whole series of derivative financial instruments which will allow individuals to trade, essentially risk and hedge risk in the same ways that people can do around other commodities. This is a fascinating development that is going to take place. There is a wide variety of risks that can be hedged in the oil sector, and there are many different ways to accomplish things. In light of this, we are going to start seeing an increasing amount of that happening in relation to Bitcoin as a means of making the market far more liquid. Because if we picture a future in which the United States government controls 2 million Bitcoin, it would be equivalent to 10% of all Bitcoins in circulation. It is decided that Saudi Arabia, Russia, China, India, and other countries will together hold 20% of the company. To put it into perspective, 30% of all the Bitcoin in the world has now been removed from circulation. At a minimum of 70%, it is possible to assert that approximately 4 million Bitcoins have been misplaced. I am referring to Satoshi's wallet and other similar items. Do you agree? Or well, so that's another 20% or whatever. Now that you've reached 50% of the Bitcoin, you're kind of tied up. After that, through the exchange-traded funds ETFs that are currently at 1% or 2%, MicroStrategy, which is 1% and increasing. So you're kind of at 60% at this point. The market does not have a great deal of liquidity. As a result, you have to sign up right now or else things are going to become a lot more difficult. In addition, there is going to be an extremely high demand for these derivative products on the market. As a result, you are going to observe an exponential growth in the actual liquidity that is associated with speculating on Bitcoin as an investment asset at some point in the coming years. On top of that, you should be aware of the argument that has been going about for years, which is that Bitcoin is not supported by anything. For all intents and purposes, Bitcoin is nothing. The beauty of that is displayed here. The reason for this is that the value of Bitcoin is solely determined by the perception that people have regarding its scarcity and its value, and so on. And that's it. Because of this, it is a sort of investment that is much more purer. To add insult to injury, when you watch Bitcoin move, you should know that it has double the volatility of the SP or the Nasdaq, but you should also consider how quickly it recovers, right? If people, Tesla, deliver poor numbers, the stock will plummet, and you will have to wait until the next earnings before considering the possibility that the stock will begin to roll back up again. After the price of Bitcoin dropped a couple of weeks ago, MT, or the state, which is the German state, sold all of this Bitcoin, the price immediately went back up. Take into consideration the quantity of volume of Bitcoin that has entered the market as well as the dips that we have experienced. That was swiftly absorbed and the price has immediately gone back up to its previous level. Indeed, this is a reflection of the level of demand that exists for Bitcoin, as well as the state of the Bitcoin liquidity market at the present time. One thing that I would want to say is that at the moment, the demand for XRP is even significantly higher than the demand for Bitcoin. As Fred Thiel was speaking, he was discussing the manner in which governments and various other entities are going to amass Bitcoin through exchange-traded funds, ETFs, and through individual retail investors. And in addition to that, he brought attention to the fact that whenever governments have recently been selling Bitcoin, individuals have immediately reclaimed it. But I want to show you guys, or talk about XRP in recent times. It has actually had much more steady performance over the course of the last 30 days, and it has been experiencing a lot more demand overall. I want to show you guys, or talk about it. And this is a pretty wonderful thing, because when you also consider the future of XRP and how limited the supply is going to be, you realize that this is a really cool thing. After it has accomplished what it has set out to do, you will rapidly come to the realization that XRP has a great deal more potential than virtually every other cryptocurrency that is now in circulation. I mean, let's just imagine that all of the major banks in the world gathered a small amount of XRP and then sold off around half of the total quantity. This is just a hypothetical scenario. In addition to this, there are governments that are simultaneously utilizing the XRPL and are required to keep XRP due to the CBDC programs that they are implementing. In addition to that, there is the stablecoin, as well as the numerous applications of DeFi. I mean, XRP is going to be so scarce in the future that I believe it is going to have some of the most explosive gains throughout this cycle, and possibly even more so during the next cycle, which is when people really start to wake up and understand that the technology of XRP is superior to that of Bitcoin. I do believe that this is going to happen. Overall, it is clear that Bitcoin has a bright future ahead of it, as evidenced by the recent demand against liquidity ratio that it has been experiencing, but I believe that XRP is a lot more promising. On the other hand, there is a great deal more going on with the cryptocurrency markets, and we need to get into it in great detail. Then let's get down to business. But before we get into that, I want to make a quick comment regarding the fact that, in my opinion, the present moment is an excellent time to initiate a 5 times isolated long position on XRP. Thank you for your attention to this matter. You can see right here that I have recently opened a trade in XRP on stream at a ratio of approximately 56 to 57 cents between the two currencies. In addition, I based my decision on the indicators that I am now observing on the daily charts of the stochastic RSI. There is a possibility that this will be one of the more impressive submissions that we will get during the following 3 weeks. Consequently, if you guys are also interested in opening up this position with me at the same price range, it is of the utmost importance that you sign up for Margix down below and open up this position right away.